Thank you for joining us for this episode of That Solo Life, the podcast for PR pros and marketers who work for themselves. People like me, Michelle Kane with Voice Matters, and my wonderful co host, Karen Swim of Solo PR Pro. How are you today, Karen?
I am doing really well, Michelle. Thank you for
Good.
asking. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, despite everything happening all around us, I'm doing well.
Yeah, this July has been such a fast month. When this
It
episode
has.
hits, we will be at the very end of
Yes.
it, and I cannot believe it. Like,
Poof.
wasn't it just 4th of July?
I think so. I'm pretty sure it was just I was, making macaroni salad or something, and the next thing I know, it's the end of the month, and it's just been. I mean, well, if you're listening to this, lots of things happening out there, and among them is just people trying to get through their work days. So much has happened,
Yeah.
especially on the corporate side of things. I know in Philadelphia, the mayor has ordered everyone back to the office. Everyone. So that's been fun for them. Not really, but even with staffing and things, so we just thought we would dig in a little bit on how do we, as independent consultants and small micro agencies, navigate these times because we're working with people who are going through this, and how does that impact what we do and how we can best be of service and just honestly get through it.
Yeah, that's such a big question, isn't it? It
Yeah.
it feels like so many people are beaten down by work. You see it. You see the fatigue. You see them. We talked, I believe it was last week, about the Great Detachment. You see
Yeah.
it, but you also see some of the toxicity bubbling up to the surface, and it's challenging when we have to interact with corporate America.
Yeah, it certainly is. And, some sectors are seeing some layoffs or just even so. I mean, with the detachment, I mean, someone has to pick up the slack for those who are either consciously or just, you may just be at the end of it, of your rope at the moment, and just think, oh, I just don't have 100% to give right now, just with the things that we all go through in life. And, as a person working outside of these organizations, you still have questions that need to be answered. You still have deadlines to meet. You still have to keep the plan moving forward. And I know for many, sometimes that plan is now changing as you go. Sometimes, I know you've experienced, Karen, new players come in and it just really slows things down and puts a wrench into things. And let's face it, it's just challenging for us right now, which can, in some ways, lead to a drag for us. I know for me, even on a small scale, if I don't get answers to questions that I need, it really de-energizes you to a certain extent. It's a challenge to keep your energy up and be positive of like, hey, this is great, let's go, move forward. If only I could know which way we're going.
I completely agree. And it's interesting that we hear the phrase daily from so many people that life is lifing. And so when we're
Yes.
in this environment, when life is lifing for all of us, there's a two-step process to dealing with the toxicity in the corporate workforce. There's first, of course, that old advice that still holds true of putting on your own oxygen mask. So we have to
Yes.
figure out the strategies that are going to keep us at peace and mentally well. And sometimes that takes a little bit of work and a little bit of outside support to figure out, okay, what strategies do I need to keep me enthusiastic and to keep me feeling, that vitality that I need to bring to my work. And unfortunately, I believe in times past, we had a stronger support system so that we weren't carrying the water all alone.
Yeah.
Now it almost feels like it's, every person for themselves because everyone has so much that you really have to figure it out for yourself. And so it can
Yeah.
it can really feel sometimes like you're bailing water with a teaspoon. And so
Yes.
I think the first step for solos is step one, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And this could mean a number of things. It could mean figuring out a more streamlined work schedule so that you have built in more time to recharge.
Mm,
Um, Bring some efficiencies into your work processes so that you alleviate some of the pressure and accepting that these things are not great and not fun, but putting them in that box of this is work. It's not your whole entire life. And then you have to have those boundaries where you don't let the feelings, the stressors, and the activities spill over into your whole life.
Oh, that's a big one. That is huge. And I think especially in our line of work, because even when we're actively trying not to think about work, invariably we always are because we'll see a commercial that reminds us of a great idea for a campaign or blah blah blah. And yeah, that is a tough one to compartmentalize. I know I challenge myself with it, and sometimes I just say to myself, okay, right in this minute, right in the next 5 hours or this weekend, there is nothing that I can do no matter what. So let's just try to enjoy, do things you enjoy, do what you need to do, just consciously, actively try and put it aside until you know that it's a time and space where you can pick it up again.
And it's a muscle that needs to be worked, right? You have to
Yeah.
build that muscle. I think one thing that I have found that has helped me is to do it in shorter bursts because I've gotten a
Mhm.
lot better at it. And weekends
Yeah.
come and I'm done. And I actually don't work Fridays most
Mhm.
of the time. Sometimes I do a little cleanup work or I have to have a meeting, but I've gotten so much better about just shutting it off and giving myself that time to breathe. One thing that I would encourage solos to do is to find something that brings you absolute joy, whatever that might be. Maybe it's, going to hear live music. Maybe it's knitting. Maybe it's cooking. Maybe it's golfing. Whatever that thing is that when you are doing that thing, it just brings you ridiculous joy or peace and you love doing it. Make sure to work that into your life routinely, whatever that thing is, because when we are doing things that fulfill us, then we're relieving the stress from the other part of our life and we're locked in. And so that
Yeah.
gives you that space in that time, even if it's just an hour. Maybe it's a workout class that you absolutely love and you go for an hour. That hour is yours. So you have to
Mhm.
really claim that space and that time for yourself to do things that really energize you and renew you because we're not going to get that from external sources.
No, it's true, and it's so, so important that you do that because that replenishes you, that fills you up with what you need to keep going because as we've said time and time again, we have a finite amount of energy, and we need to keep sustaining that and making sure that we do get a good refill. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're literally gonna be spent, and you're no good for anybody.
And,
Just
I think a lot of PR pros are probably empaths. And so we take on,
Mhm.
we feel more deeply than other people do. We want to
Yes.
solve everyone's problems.
Mhm.
I also think that in this day and age, you really do have to find a way to create a boundary between you and the problems of corporate America. You
Yes.
really just have to go in with the mindset of, I just want to do good work. I want to do
Yep.
good work, and that's what I'm here for. I'm not here to fix this person's issue with, the C suite. I'm not here to navigate the spats that are happening between the executives. I'm here to do good work. And
Mhm.
when you keep the focus on doing good work and navigating that path and not getting caught up in the politics that are happening in the workforce, you really will have a healthier balance and you won't be taking that stress on. And again, this is something that does require you to actively manage it. It's not something that will passively happen. You have to really be
Right.
intentional about being in that place where you're like, you know what? These are my clients. This is a job. And while I might like these people as human beings, their problems are really not my problems. And I'm not here to solve them. I'm here to do great work. And sometimes that even means calling things out and being very direct with clients,
Yeah.
and saying things like, I really don't want to get involved in whatever is going on between you
Yes.
and this person, but tell me, how I can achieve the goal. I'm here to do great work for you and I'm excited about that. Tell me what steps I need to take to ensure that I am fulfilling that role and doing what's expected of me, and keep the focus on your work, not on the personality clashes and all the things
Right.
that are happening. And those things are happening more frequently because, as you said, Michelle, we have fewer people,
Hmm.
but the work still has to get done. We have people that have been forced back into working situations that they don't like. We
Hmm.
have people that are in a job, not because they are excited about it and want to do it, but just because they feel stuck. And they're like, I need
Yeah.
the money. I
Oh,
got to
yeah.
stay here. And they don't want to
Yeah.
be there.
It's so true. So true. And I think a big step in achieving those boundaries is having a serious conversation with yourself. What can I control here and what can't I? We can't control how clients think or how, their counterparts think or what they do, or we truly can't. So control what you can control and let the rest just let the rest roll out. There's only so much power that we have. So a lot of sometimes the mental grinding that we might do, it really isn't productive and it just wears you out.
And I would say I want to make an important distinction because this comes up a fair bit. That doesn't mean that you're ignoring when the toxicity is turned towards you. So
Right.
you are not obligated to stay in client relationships that do not serve you, where
Right.
people are abusive to you, where people are undermining you in spite of your best efforts. I
No.
always say, forget about the money, save yourself and walk away because doors
Mhm.
will open for you. You will figure
Mhm.
it out. Things will be fine. But we are saying that when there's that internal, like the internal power plays and some of the things that are happening between other people, we can not engage in those situations and keep the focus on the work and getting the work done and ignore the rest of it. And
Mhm.
I've learned because I've had to encounter those situations in recent times as well, and I've learned to just have a good sense of humor about it
Yeah.
and take a step back and go, wow, it makes me more grateful that I'm
Yeah.
not in corporate America. It's a great reminder and it's actually very motivating. Like, girl, stay on your business development game because that life is not for me. I am not about that life.
Yeah. I don't wanna deal with that. I'm so glad I don't have to sit next to that person.
Some of the stressors that people that work traditionally, I applaud you. You
Yeah.
are braver than I am because I could not.
Yeah. A lot of times it's really just silly stuff. You're just like, "Really?
It's always
Come on
silly
now.
stuff.
Come
Yeah.
on now. I think someone needs to fill the candy jar in your office because you guys are being so cranky."
Yeah. In the big scheme of things, it really never amounts to much. And I mean, I understand that people and sometimes they feel like they're fighting for their livelihood, for their careers and
Sure.
for their
Sure.
growth and opportunity. But
Yeah.
again, as solos, we can remove ourselves from, trying to fix that. That's not our job. We are
Yeah.
not their career counselors.
No.
I know that sometimes we've stepped into that role, but in today's day and age, again, keep the focus on the work and doing great work. Keep your positive attitude and don't let these people affect you because life is gonna life for all of us. And
Yeah.
we have enough on our plates. We don't need to take on extra.
No, we certainly do. We certainly do. And gosh, well, we hope this has been helpful to you today. If it has, please share it around. That's the biggest compliment you can pay us. And hit us up at soloprpro.com. We always want to hear from you. Tell us your fun experiences. Maybe we'll share them in the next episode and say, "Oh my gosh, can you believe that?" And you know what? And how you handled it. We would love to hear some stories from out there. And if there's anything you want us to cover, please also let us know. Go over to soloprpro.com and let us know about that. And until next time, thanks so much for listening to That Solo Life.